and running, huh?
We are off and running.
Back, track, wall, bye-bye baseball. A grand slam over the batter's eye in center for Bryce Terang.
Brewers baseball is back. It's a Cactus League matchup between the Brewers and the White Sox. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 2. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Friday, February 27th. Your top stories. Searching for a missing teen mom and her son.
I'm Neil Doyle in for Jessica Tighe, calling for the depositions to be made public.
Mostly sunny, breezy, and mild today. High 60 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 24. Could see some snow on Saturday, maybe 1 to 3 inches north of Milwaukee. It's 54 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 12 o'clock. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, Milwaukee police need help finding a missing teen mom and her 1-year-old son. 17-year-old Aaliyah Miller and her son Amir were last seen near 27th and Atkinson on February 8th. You can see photos and get more information on our website, WTMJ.com.
A suspect now in custody in connection to a sexual assault at Marquette University this past week.
Marquette University police say the suspect is not one of the people already taken into custody for unrelated warrants near campus. This new arrest stems from an alleged robbery and sexual assault on February 18th, when a female Marquette student reported that a man approached her just before 2 a.m. near 14th and Kilbourne. She said he displayed a weapon, sexually assaulted her, and stole property from her. Marquette police are reminding the campus community to lock all residence and car doors and use campus safety resources. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A reckless driving stop in Oak Creek turns into a major drug bust.
Police say officers found meth, fentanyl, cocaine, marijuana, and synthetic mushrooms after pulling over a vehicle with a stolen license plate. Investigators also recovered drug paraphernalia and suspected stolen retail merchandise. 4 suspects were arrested, with 2 having active warrants. The charges will be sent to the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office, and the investigation remains ongoing. Isaiah Spencer, WTMJ News.
Former President Bill Clinton is sitting for a closed-door deposition before the House Oversight Committee in their investigation regarding Jeffrey Epstein. Files released by the Justice Department include photos and email exchanges between Clinton, Epstein, and Epstein's co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. The Clintons, as well as committee Democrats, have been calling for the depositions to be public and for unedited videos and transcripts to be released. Before the deposition, committee chair James Comer said a video would be released once it gets approval.
This is, for all practical purposes, a public deposition. The American people are going to see it. I've heard C-SPAN's going to air it wire to wire. So everyone's going to see what was asked yesterday, and I think that'll answer a lot of questions.
Neither the former president nor former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton were accused or charged with any crime.
And it's day 27 in the search for Nancy Guthrie, and there is a new piece of potential evidence being examined. News Nation's Marty Hughes.
The FBI is now shifting its resources in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the agency reducing personnel in Tucson now as it relocates a command post to Phoenix. They could have a potential new lead in the case. Right now, they are analyzing video from a doorbell camera at a home about 2 miles away. It captured about a dozen cars passing by in the early morning hours on the day Nancy disappeared.
Investigators are turning Guthrie's home back over to the family, once again signaling an end to the search of the property for evidence. Guthrie has been missing since February 1st.
Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the red. The Dow is down more than 1% at 48,840. The NASDAQ off 256 points at 22,620. And the S&P 500 is down about 50 at 6,858. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Hey, the Lenten season is here. Experience the fabulous all-you-care-to-eat Friday fish fry at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here, one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free every night, even Saturdays. Savor your favorite steak, the twin lobster tails, the mixed grill of a filet, shrimp, and scallops, honey glazed salmon, any entree, ribs, you got it. All buy one, get one free. Desserts also buy one, get one free. only at the famous Fox and Hounds. Unwind tonight with an old-fashioned. Choose from 20 bourbons, 100 wines. Enjoy in one of the 8 elegant dining rooms with 7 real wood-burning fireplaces. You're going to feel warm and welcomed and cozy. Take your family to the Fox and Hounds this week. Half of your dinners are free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine, serving dinner from 4 p.m. today. Dine early. Tables are open, serving Saturday lunch from 11 till 2. Google, call, and reserve your Friday haddock Lenten fish fry and free dinner. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Lark.
I love the location, and that's the main reason Dave and I are there, is because of nature all around us. I knew when we moved in, I was leaving behind a lot of stress and responsibility. I decided now is the time to do what I want when I want to do it.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Brewers continue Cactus League action this afternoon, a game you can hear right here on WTMJ with coverage beginning at 2 o'clock. Meanwhile, the Bucks take on the New York Knicks tonight. It is the final game of a 4-game homestand. Bucks have won 8 of its last 10 contests. Balanced scoring, helping the Bucks in their time without Giannis.
That's how we have to play. We got to keep playing that way. I think if you watch the last 10 games, it's obvious when we stop doing that during the game. And like it now stands out. It didn't stand out before, but it's so obvious when we get stuck.
Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Let's take a look at the road. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. We've got a bit of an issue 94 westbound, and this is in our construction zone. It's not because of the construction. We actually have a vehicle that is involved in a crash. So part of the shoulder, this is 94 westbound at Mitchell Boulevard. Part of that shoulder is blocked due to the crash. Emergency crews are on the scene. So kind of scooting you over quite a bit. It's causing backup starting at 16th Street. So going to slow you down there through the stadium interchange. Otherwise, the rest of the system is looking good.
Well, enjoy the day. Mostly sunny, windy, and mild. High of 60 degrees. Wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour, but the sun's going to feel nice. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 24. Expect to see some snow on Saturday. Some revised totals here. It looks like main snowfall of accumulation anyway will be north of Milwaukee, maybe about an inch or so from Milwaukee and to the south. Once you get closer to the state line, you might not see much of anything. Mostly cloudy and chilly on Sunday with a high of 27, bumping up to 35 on Monday. 54 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Tighe, it's Neil Doyle.
Well, happy Friday to one and all. We are here. It's Wisconsin's Midday News. Neil in for Jessica, Greg in for Greg, Gina's in for Gina. We've got Brewers baseball. Welcome to the show, Neil. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Nice day, too, here as we wrap up the work week on a high note here with 60 degrees, kind of feeling like spring. We'll take you down to Arizona at about 1:45. We'll talk with Dom Cotroneo ahead of Brewers baseball.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Well, the civil trial against social media companies continues today in California. Lawyers for YouTube expected to question the plaintiff who filed the lawsuit. Her name is Kaylee, and she alleges prolonged use of social media platforms affected her mental health, leading to anxiety, depression, and body dysmorphia. Her belief is that social media platforms deliberately tried to addict its users.
By the time she was 9, Kaylee says she was sneaking on Instagram behind her mother's back, creating more than a dozen profiles to garner more likes, even spending 16 hours a day on the app. One alternative juror seen wiping away tears as Kaylee testified she now suffers from anxiety, depression, and body dysmorphia.
That's ABC's Hannah Battah. Kaylee testified she began using YouTube at the age of 6. On the other side, lawyers for the tech companies are arguing the plaintiff's mental health issues stem from family dynamics rather than social media usage. It's also a bellwether case, Neil, and the outcome here could significantly influence future litigation against social media companies. You got the big dogs of YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram in the fight. TikTok and Snapchat decided to settle out of court.
Yeah, I mean, they were in it originally, but got out, but it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Number 2 here, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers appearing to struggle a little bit to get support when it comes to nonpartisan redistricting. Now, during the State of the State earlier this month, the governor announced he's pushing for a constitutional amendment that would ban partisan gerrymandering. He's planning to call a special legislative session this spring. He wants lawmakers to come to the table to try to consider this measure. But during an event yesterday with WisPolitics, the governor spoke with reporters and kind of indicated neither Democrats nor Republicans are showing a lot of support for this idea.
Through the grapevine, yeah.
Could you elaborate on that?
No, I can't. That's basically what I know. You know, I'm guessing Democrats and Republicans, I know they want to have an advantage, and I'm not in that position.
Now, the governor says even with some of this pushback on both sides of the aisle, he's confident that they'll be able to get something done, hopefully this spring. Both Democratic and Republican leaders say that they're kind of waiting to review the actual proposal from the governor before anything happens. And this is kind of one of the main priorities that the governor laid out. He's hoping to get done in his final year of office.
Well, number 3, a wicked problem for a popular restaurant in Milwaukee's 3rd Ward. WTMJ's Adam Roberts joins us in studio with more. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Greg. Hey, Neil. Yeah, we're talking about the Wicked Hop. And if you had plans to go out for Bloodies or maybe brunch this weekend, you may want to alter those plans. We got a roach issue at this location in the 3rd Ward. It's right across from the Milwaukee Public Market. So according to an inspection report we were able to obtain yesterday, inspectors on site this week were in the basement of the building, which is shared with a couple of other locations in this conglomerate. We don't know what other locations they were looking at, but there are some food establishments that share the space. There was a large gap they found at the base and side of a back door in the trash area downstairs. And if you text WATCH right now to 855-616-1620, you'll see what the inspectors found. We got some dead American cockroaches in the food basement area. And during a follow-up inspection, a live American cockroach, they specified it was an American cockroach, observed in the main kitchen on the 1st floor. So shut it down, everything stops. The co-owner, interestingly, Miles O'Neill, was very talkative when all the reporters came through the other day, talking with TMJ4 here.
They walked into the kitchen, and at that point, they did see a living cockroach on the floor, and they immediately shut us down. You know, I don't think anybody should be real overly concerned, in my opinion. Well, it's not a good thing. It's something that we are working diligently on.
So I stopped down by the restaurant right before you guys went on the air today. Still closed. They still got the big red placard up in the window, temporarily closed. I did see a pest control team that was out there. They were talking about bringing one of those big fog machines down in the basement, so there could be some fumigation that has to happen still yet. The city did say they could return as soon as today for another follow-up, although I did not see any health department workers when I swung by earlier.
Any idea, Adam, when the restaurant might open again?
Not sure at this time, and this can vary. We've seen where a place like, for example, when the Sendix on Downer shut down a few months ago because they had some rat droppings in the basement, they were open, I think, within a day as they quickly cleared things out. Meanwhile, when the Cermak and Walker's Point shut down, that was a little bit of a longer period, so still unclear on the Wicked Hop.
All right, WTMJ's Adam Roberts. Thank you, Adam. It's 12:13 on WTMJ. It's been kind of a strange week here for the markets, deeply in the red today, but numbers that are still, overall, relatively impressive, all due to the Trump tariff situation, or is it more of an AI sell-off? We'll dive in with Investopedia editor-in-chief Caleb Silver after this.
When it's 40 degrees in your living room and you've started using the toaster as a hand warmer.
And the dog is wearing more layers than a lasagna.
And you're using a blowtorch to defrost your Cheerios.
And you're considering burning the coffee table for warmth.
Then it's officially time to call Capital. We offer same-day heating repair service 7 days a week.
And for a limited time, all our heating service calls are free when we make the repair.
Just call Capital. We'll banish the brrr.
Call CapitalCares.com.
Well, spring is a great time for home improvements, and that lower level of yours might be staring at you right in the face. Connect with the folks at Matrix Basement Finishing like we did. You will not be disappointed. They did an unbelievable job finishing our basement in about 11 weeks. That's a pretty good-sized project, about 1,000 square feet, multiple rooms, bathroom. We added quite a bit to our lower level. Much more than just a basement now. It's a true finished lower level where we hang out with the kids, family night, game night, hosting for the holidays, you name it. We've already done it in our basement. We've enjoyed it over the last couple of months. Matrix Basement Finishing came to us. We walked the space. Design consultation was pieced together right there in front of us. Some brilliant ideas, stuff we hadn't really thought about. It was a great process. And then we picked out finished materials at our kitchen table. That was the beauty with Matrix. We never really had to leave our house. They did everything at our house, and we were there for each step. The project stayed on track. We had one point of contact. They were clean. They were organized. The contractors they worked with, incredibly nice. Just a wonderful process from start to finish. Matrix Basement Finishing. No payments till 2028. If you're looking for pictures to see what they did at our house, check out my social media pages, either Facebook or Instagram, and you'll see it here. They did an unbelievable job finishing our space. And if you'd like me to connect you directly with Matrix, you've been thinking about that lower level, you just want some ideas put to paper, I'd be happy to connect you with Matrix Basement Finishing. They only do basements, full of 5-star reviews. They did a great job at our space. Matrix Basement Finishing.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem, and I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who will tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Well, nice day today. Get out and enjoy it. 60 degrees, your high. It'll be sunny. It'll be breezy, but mild temperatures. Overnight low in the low 30s. Tomorrow, we could see some snow, 1 to 3 inches possible. Main part of accumulation will be north of Milwaukee. Might not get much of anything if you're down toward the state line, but our temperatures fall back to below normal. Sunday's high right around the same, back into the mid to upper 30s on Monday. It's 55 and sunny in Milwaukee at 217. Well, U.S. trade policy remains in flux, and so does Wall Street after the invalidation of country-specific emergency tariffs. Who are the early winners and losers as we have hit a bit of a rough patch here on Wall Street? We welcome in Investopedia editor-in-chief. It's Caleb Silver. Hi, Caleb.
Good to be with you.
Caleb, markets don't like uncertainty. We are seeing that reflected in the last week or so. Still, it wasn't long ago that all of the indices were trading at all-time highs. How do you reconcile where we stand today after the recent tariff news?
Yeah, add another dose of confusion and uncertainty into the global economic landscape and into the stock market as well, because the president raising those tariffs that he's allowed to actually put in place through Section 232 of the Trade Act up to 15%. Now, that hasn't happened yet. So the effective tariff rate for those tariffs that are still under tariff duty is around 11%, and that means higher prices for businesses that are importing those things and higher prices for consumers. There's a 150-day window there where Congress has to rule on whether those can stay in place or whether they're not allowed either. So again, if you're a small business trying to do some ordering out for the fall or for early 2027, it's very confusing, and consumers also are confused and concerned about the economy, and that's starting to weigh in on spending a little bit.
Caleb, as well, with the Supreme Court making the decision, obviously, on President's tariffs, and now kind of where we are, like you said, now these 15%, having to wait this 150-day period. Does it, though, once that 150-day period kind of comes up, does that maybe give investors a little more ease for, not as much concern, I guess, kind of maybe knowing where things stand at that point?
Yeah, and we were almost there until the Supreme Court ruling, but you could hear the drumbeat getting louder that the Supreme Court was going to rule against the tariff tariffs the president put in place through the International Economic Powers Act. So you knew that was coming. But right now, you talked about the stock market being at or near record highs. That's true. But it's kind of been flat since November, if you hadn't noticed. And if you look at the biggest stocks that were driving market returns, it was the big tech stocks. It was NVIDIA, it was AMD, it was Broadcom, Alphabet, Amazon, and others. And those stocks as a group are down some 10%. Some of those stocks down even 20 or 30%. You've seen this rotation, and the stock market's kind of been stuck as investors have kind of jumped out of the big, heavy tech stocks.
So, Caleb, in your opinion, is that recent tech sell-off driven by the tariff news or more so this fear of the AI bubble bursting?
It's all of the above, and you have that. You have the fact that some of these companies, the biggest companies in the world, have been spending tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars, really amongst each other, building out their AI ecosystems. And now investors want to see the other side of that. What do profits look like because of this spend? So this gap between how much they're spending on what we call capital expenditures and the profits that other companies are going to generate because of productivity gains through AI, we haven't quite seen that yet. What we keep hearing, though, is that big tech companies are laying off more and more workers, and you've seen this mounting layoffs in really the white collar and the executive ring for the primarily, and now bleeding into other parts of the economy. The unemployment rate's still low at 4.3%, but there's this drumbeat of more and more layoffs, and people are unsecure about their jobs.
Yeah, Amazon specifically really coming to the forefront when you mentioned that. Still, you're talking about multi-trillion-dollar companies here, right? NVIDIA's not really going anywhere. Who does this settle-off really hurt? Does it hurt NVIDIA in their future earnings, or does it hurt people who they work with?
It's not hurting that many people. NVIDIA is one of the most profitable companies, and it also has the highest revenue per employee. So the sell-off is just taking tens of billions off their market cap, which is already at $4 trillion. But if you've been an investor in any of these companies, or even in the stock market, NVIDIA is important because it's the biggest company in the stock market by market cap, right? It's got most people are invested in it. It's the heaviest stock. It's also sort of the determinant of which way the stock market goes, because as its CEO Jensen Huang says about demand, if people keep spending, that's going to be good for NVIDIA and a lot of its competitors. At the same time, if they slow down their spending, that could sink the stock market. So we're in this really sensitive place right now where a lot of the market and a lot of investor sentiment is being driven by what these companies are saying about how much they're going to spend and how much they're going to make in profits.
With the tariff shakeup and the Supreme Court decision, now you have these companies that are filing suit. They want tariff refunds. How much are investors kind of paying attention to that, and kind of how do you see some of that shaking out?
Yeah, no, I don't think any investors are expecting refunds because the Supreme Court did not rule on that when they ruled against those reciprocal tariffs last week. Instead, they're going to push that to the lower courts. The lower courts are going to have to take a long time figuring out amongst the 1,000 lawsuits plus that were filed against the White House, who deserves what, who paid a tariff when, are there records for it, did they pass those tariffs along to their consumers? You can imagine the legal battles and how long this is going to play out. Investors are not counting on any of that money coming back. They're looking, though, at the trade deficit that the United States has sort of tightened a little bit through these tariffs and saying, is that going to continue, or is the government going to mount an even bigger deficit because they're not going to take in as much money as they had planned because of the Supreme Court ruling?
You talk about some of the big companies, not uncommon for them to split and become a more digestible base price for investors to hop in at. Even during these periods of losing with some of these big dog companies, Caleb, do you feel like it's a buying opportunity, or is that something you want to hit the pause button on right now until you understand more clearly where AI is going?
Yeah, well, for investors, especially long-term investors, this has been a fantastic ride. We've been benefiting from this big spend by all these companies and by the growth of these tech companies. They're the biggest stocks in the stock market. And when you look inside retail investors' portfolios like we do here at Investopedia, we all own the same stocks. It looks like the top of the NASDAQ or the S&P 500. You have NVIDIA, you got Apple, you got Amazon, Microsoft, maybe Berkshire Hathaway and JP Morgan. We all kind of own the same things. So we've been piling into the same things, which has been very beneficial for us as long-term investors. We're in the fourth year of a bull market. Stock market has been raging since October of 2022. So you've done very well. It's not a time necessarily to go all in. It's a time to say, I've done well. Am I positioned correctly? And is my portfolio diversified? Because we've seen this rotation out of tech into materials and industrials. And that tells you that people are tightening up a little bit as the economy starts to slow and there's this uncertainty out there.
Investopedia editor-in-chief, always good to connect with Caleb Silver. Caleb, have a great weekend. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. You too.
Coming up next, Tampa says no to these.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, dog owners and dog lovers, listen up. A great day, great time, really any time. Connect with the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. If you're looking to get your dog out of the house for a little stimulation after a gnarly winter, hey, it's a great time to do it. In fact, I saw the food truck at the Hounds and Tap last night. That's right, food truck, indoor-outdoor tavern, a great place for you to hang out with your dog, or if you need to drop the dog off for daycare or boarding or a grooming treatment, you can do it as well. It's the Hounds and Tap, top-tier services at a 12,000-square-foot facility designed for dogs. It's a wonderful place run by wonderful people. Top-tier services, a cozy atmosphere. You're going to love it at the Hounds and Tap. So spread out. Bring the dog. Bring all the dogs. Bring the kids on Sunday. That's Family Day at the Hounds and Tap. You can also check out their events calendar. They got bingo, and they've got fundraising opportunities. They've got all sorts of things that'll make you want to visit the Hounds and Tap time and time again. We love it there. It's right by our home. Very convenient for us. You'll want to check out the Hounds and Tap. Make an appointment. Check out thehoundsandtap.com.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, and they offer early memory loss classes to help you. They specialize in this area. It's kindness at the core, locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. It's compassion, it's empathy. It's Wisconsin-based and family-owned, always welcoming people to come tour and welcome their new residents. I've seen their places. They're top-notch. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
It was just a joke. Honest. That's what the PR staff at Tampa International Airport is now saying about a posting on their X feed that's logged over 8 million views and 5,000 comments. What did they say?
Joke or not, the original posting from Tampa International Airport has reignited a debate